now return to Senior Notebook on WENY.
Hello again, and welcome once again to another edition of Senior Notebook. My name is Cleveland Thrower, and with me is Laura Jaen Smith. Laura, how are you today?
Good. Thank you for having me today.
Good, good. You're quite welcome, and we're certainly glad to have you. I have a plethora of questions for you, and I hope nothing makes you uncomfortable. And so my first question is, how long have you been painting?
I've been painting and creative most of my life. It's something that I always enjoyed doing, so I've been doing it for quite a while now.
Okay.
Yeah.
At what age?
As far as painting itself, I think I got my first acrylic set around probably 11 or 12.
Okay.
And then as far as showing professionally and that type of thing, it's been about 5 or 6 years.
Okay. Now, most of your paintings that I see are of waterfalls. And what expression would you call that?
So most of the work that I do is landscapes and natural scenes. I just finished doing a project that's 50 different waterfalls throughout the Finger Lakes area. And for that project, I hiked to all the falls and then also and then later painted them.
Really?
Yeah.
You hiked to each one of them?
Yep, I did visit each one of them for the project. Yeah.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this question here. How long does it take you to complete a piece of work?
For small works like this, usually it's about probably 5 hours, 3 to 5 hours, depending on how detailed it is.
Okay. Is there any particular type of mood that you have to be in to paint, or how does that work?
It kind of depends. It's not necessarily... What I've kind of learned is that you can't wait for the mood to strike you. You kind of have to work through it, and once you get started, it usually comes to you.
Okay. My favorite artist is Bob Ross. I like Michelangelo, I like Renoir, but Bob Ross really stands out for me as being one of my favorite artists. Who's your favorite artist?
Well, first, I loved watching Bob Ross growing up, but my favorite absolute artist would be Vincent van Gogh. He's my favorite.
Van Gogh?
Yes, Van Gogh.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of the Impressionists as well.
Okay.
So Degas and Monet are also favorites.
Okay. What would you say to young artists or young people who feel like they would like to paint or become artists?
To definitely try it. Creativity is important, and it's something that you have to practice at, and so if you take the time to practice and do what inspires you, that's how you do well.
Okay, all right, okay. So to all of the young artists out there, here's a few words of advice from a person who really has already, delved into painting. When you put brush to paint and paint to canvas, do you have any special thoughts?
I don't. Not specifically thoughts that I can think of at the moment. What I focus on is detailed observations. So I usually work from reference photos, usually ones that I've taken, and I just kind of focus on the main elements and down to the details.
Where does your inspiration come from?
The beauty around me. I really like looking at the beauty of nature and just kind of seeing the good and the beauty in everything that I paint.
When did you first realize that you wanted to become an artist?
So it was when I was a young kid. I actually found this recently when I moved back home. I lived in Wyoming for a little while before moving back to the area, and I found this book. I think I was probably about 8 years old. This little picture book that I created, and it has like, what do you want to be when you grow up? It was interesting to see that for the thing that I wanted to be at that point was an artist as well. So
Okay.
I feel like I knew at a young age, but then I kind of had to relearn it as an adult.
When or where are you going to have your next viewing of your artwork?
Right now, there's one work that is over at the Arts Council of the Southern Finger Lakes that goes through January 4th.
Okay.
And that's a painting of Hector Falls.
And that's great. Hector Falls is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long does it take you to complete a piece of work? Or did I ask you that already?
Yeah, about 3 to 5 hours is generally for the smaller pieces.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Laura. I do really appreciate it. And I'm sure the viewers of Senior Notebook appreciate it also. And it has been a pleasure talking to you. And I look forward to seeing more of your work, and I'm sure that our viewers will also. Thank you again for another edition of Senior Notebook.